Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Privacy Podcast. Uh, Today we have Flipchan. And can you just give an introduction of yourself and Kusama Shield?
Yeah, certainly. Thank you for having me. My name is Filip. I'm known online as Flipchan. I have a background in IT security for many years, and then I shifted interest towards decentralized application and towards more towards the blockchain space. I was providing Bitcoin infrastructure in 2013, 2014, and then I just kept being in the space, and I worked on various applications since then. And most lately, I've been working on in the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem because they really excite me. And also a really cool project that I'm contributing to is Kusama Shield, which is basically a shielded pool that lets you have basically private balance on chain so that you can avoid $5 range attacks and stuff like that. And the origins around that is that in Polkadot and in Kusama land, we have like all these trustless interoperability, and we have a lot of cool features, but there weren't so many privacy applications. So the community came together and they said, hey, we want some type of private balance as shielded transfer application. And now we managed to achieve consensus, and we actually build like the first iteration, which is really, really exciting.
What is a $5 attack? Is that what you said? A $5 attack?
$5 range attack. So it's basically, let's say that you're at a bar with some friends and you have like your mobile wallet on you, and they're like, oh, a beer cost $3 in USDT or whatever currency, and you have all your money on your mobile wallet, and you go and pay these like $5 for a beer. The bartender then sees, oh shit, this guy has $2 million in his phone. Let's get a baseball bat and get his phone. And that's actually turning out to be like a real threat that we start seeing every day in life. Like, for example, if you buy something with your credit card, like you expect that the merchant can't see your balance, but we are interacting with like cutting edge transparent public ledgers, which are these popular blockchains right now.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean that's true. The Ledger guy had like a home invasion. There's a WonderFi as well. So Kusama and Polkadot have some momentum towards privacy. Can you speak about the current trends and in the dot ecosystem, the Kusama ecosystem towards privacy?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's very interesting. So Polkadot there is two different kind of under the same technical umbrella and same tech stack, Polkadot and Kusama, and they're both what's called relay host chains. So like they're L1s hosting L2s, you could say. And how they do that is using a certain protocol which allows them to have very high security on the block production, allowing smaller chains to tap into stable block production and stable transaction generation. And Polkadot is kind of this very business oriented. Like Polkadot is like kind of the business person in a suit shaking hands at the conferences. They recently had a big partnership with NFL and FIFA rivals as well. They're doing like a lot of cool stuff in the enterprise space. And then we have Kusama, which Kusama is kind of the black sheep, so to say. It's kind of the more punk kid on the block. It's Kusama is where they test out basically all features. First, when they get implemented, they get into what's called the Polkadot SDK. And the Polkadot SDK, first they roll them out on Kusama, which is like Polkadot, but in a bit smaller variant. And Kusama has also been alive for a lot longer. But the purpose of Kusama has always been experimentation. And what happened in the beginning, I think Kusama launched 2018, I think. and been going ever since. But what has happened is Kusama has had a bit of recruitment problem, so it's stalled a lot. There's still like value to token, there's still a lot of stuff going on, but recently the Web3 Foundation, which is a kind of one of the biggest players in the Polkadot space, they put down a proposal, and the community agreed that the narrative of Kusama is not just going to be experimentation, it's now going to be privacy as well. So what's being put together right now is a bounty of 10 million DOT that is currently valued at $40 million, will be allocated towards zero knowledge and advanced cryptography, proof of personhood, and basically more experimentation. And a lot of this is going to be allocated towards privacy application, is the idea. So the idea, the narrative around Kusama is, you have to stop me if I get like too technical, too deep into something. You have to tell me. But
No, it's
yeah, now Kusama is now going from being just here we test cool features online with the real economical value to being kind of a home that fosters privacy projects. Because I think a lot of projects, they have like problems with funding, especially like smaller privacy projects, and they also have problem with resilience. And now the Polkadot and Kusama community, they spend so much resource and energy building like truly resilient networks, and now we get to tap into that and actually build privacy applications on top of that. And Kusama Shield is kind of like one out of many that will hopefully fall out from the Kusama space. So now we're kind of leading the torch here with the Kusama Shield and building this shielded pool, these privacy applications that anyone can use to basically shield your tokens and get private balances. But also something that I think about a lot as well is like, where do you want to host private applications and smart contracts that have some kind of privacy protocol? You want to host them on something that's truly resilient, and Kusama has provided this and is actively providing this. So I think it's a perfect place to host this. And you also have an entire governance factor as well. It's a rabbit hole within itself.
So, like a 10,000-foot overview, what is Kusama Shield? How does like a privacy pool work? How does Kusama Shield use? How is it private versus like I don't know, another type of privacy solution?
Yeah, so Kusama Shield, basically what it is a group of smart contracts that live on an EVM chain, you can kind of say. And how it works is basically you can make deposits and you can make withdrawals into this pool. So imagine that what happens is you make a deposit of the token you want, and when you do that, we utilize zero knowledge technology to basically give you a token, and then you take that token, and then you'll be able to reveal tokens without you're able to, you imagine like you deposit money into this bucket, and then when you do that, you decide on a secret. But when you deposit this money, you don't give out the public secret, you give out only part of this secret. So no one knows what the secret is except for the creator of these tokens. And then you give this secret to someone else, and then anyone can withdraw. And when they withdraw the amount from the pool, but there is no connection between, you can't really correlate who deposited and who withdraw.
Okay, so it's like almost like a coat check where you get a ticket for your coat at a restaurant or something, and you give back the ticket, and then you give the ticket to somebody else, and then they can get the item instead. So
yeah,
so
exactly.
Is Is there like a process for integrating wallets with Kusama Shield? Does it work through APIs or SDKs? Like, how's it working? How will you get people in the Kusama network to tap into it?
So we built this really cool web interface that you can access via the website shield.markets. And we're rolling out a new version, I think, very, very soon, which will have swap integrations. And what we have done is basically integrated, I think, 5 or 7 different browser wallets that you can interact with. But basically, any EVM wallet is compatible with the Kusama Shield. Yeah, exactly. There you can see we did a nice little animation to kind of like simulate what's going on. So there you see you have your tokens, and they get converted into this secret format that only you knows. And
I noticed that you have. I noticed you have no backdoors or safety wheels or cryptography downgrades. Do you have you been paying attention to like the UK government putting pressure on Apple to add backdoors? What are your thoughts about like the whole backdoor situation that seems to be occurring?
Yeah, I mean that's I haven't like read in so much into it, but I know the pretense of it, and I think it's like I think Apple has done a lot of good things, like in the terms of privacy. At least in the past, they've done it multiple times, especially when they get subpoenas on breaking like the full disk encryption on the iPhones and stuff like that. They normally say no, and I also know some people that looking at Apple, and I would say I got full confidence in them. But it's terrible that governments are pressuring people to basically view their private conversations. That's really Orwellian society. It's not nice at all. And especially when you just like putting gas to the fire there.
Yeah, how do you prevent the government from putting pressure on you if you're a business? Really, it's like no amount of lawyers you can really hire or anything can just change the rules on you. So, I mean, really, decentralization is probably the only way to ensure that there's not government pressure or sovereign pressure on app developers. So
Exactly, and that's kind of why we need like truly decentralized technologies, and we don't need like when someone comes and like here's a new regulation that will harm individuals, then you can't just go to someone's office and then just twist their arm until they just like they implement this and do that. And we need like really true decentralized resilient networks that when you push through a transaction, it actually goes through. And I think like in the long term as well, because when we were designing Kusama Shield and Bowling Ideas, we looked at other privacy protocol and people that claim their privacy protocol, and there's a lot of like them they do like what I like to call like permission privacy. And like if you're part of a bad group, like you're so some way have some problem with the government and they blacklist you, like they will like it's out to deny all your transactions. But that's kind of like what we want to avoid with Kusama Shield. And I think like avoiding permission and like trying to make something that's decentralized, someone can't just like knock like on your door, which was happen with have you followed the Samurai wallet case? Anything?
the Tornado Cash been follows for Roman Storms. It's they
There's
pretty much
another one called
yeah.
Samurai wallet, which is a bit similar history. It's they did some privacy friendly Bitcoin solution, and I think it was they were a wallet provider or something, and then the government just got some anti-money laundering application, and then just went to their data centers and then like just ripped everything out, and it was done in a few days.
Yeah, I saw like last week there's a bunch of Tor operators, like the people doing the Tor nodes. They all got swooped up in some FBI investigation and just started getting a lot of people. So, I mean, it's they see it as a threat. You know, it's a threat to the government, so they come after everybody. On that note, do you have any concerns about the like government coming after Kusama Shield or any of the technology that you're working with?
I think we need to lay the bricks like really high and put the barrier really high to entry when it comes to making sure the protocol lives on. And what I think when I think like resilient like technologies that stand the test of time, I often think of like torrents and like movie torrents, because like the government has like continuously, you know, chasing people that make web interfaces to torrent trackers which are decentralized and stored in multiple places around the world. And then when they like confiscate the web interface of a torrent tracker, like all the torrents are still there, you know, because it's decentralized, it's not in one person's hand. And I think like we can make something very similar with Kusama Shield, where like the interface is like so easy to run. Like it should just be like if you want to clone it on IPFS, like it should just be a push of a button. We aren't there yet, but it's really easy to run your local version. But I think we can really, by tapping into Kusama and then making sure that like it's always running and people are always using it, then I'm very confident that it's gonna carry on, so to say.
Yeah, if it's all smart contracts, how do you go after somebody that's just code, right? So that truly is the freedom of speech type of issue. Can you speak about any of the challenges that you face while developing Kusama Shield? How do you overcome them?
Yeah, certainly. Well, there's a lot of challenges, especially on the technical side, and like just working with like zero knowledge in general. I feel like zero knowledge is like a really interesting field, and there is a lot of cool use cases, and we can really benefit from it. You know, have you read they did like a cypherpunk manifesto from the 90s? I think it's like made 91 or something like that, where they talk about privacy.
Yeah, I have, but I don't remember it
Yeah,
off the
really
top.
long ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
but anyhow, in that there was like one thing that stuck with me, and there is like how did they define privacy? And they say like privacy is like permission, like you're able to like give X amount of permission depending on how much you want. And then with like this new zero knowledge thing, you can say like, yeah, I have a verified identity, but I don't need to give out my name. Like you can choose like what data you want to give, unlike when you like sign in with Google and then like in one button click they steal your email and then your profile data and your cookies and everything. So but yeah, working with zero knowledge is really fun, but it's really like we're very limited right now because of like we need to target like consumer hardware, so we can't like make very complex algorithmic systems that maybe we want to do. We need to limit our systems and like what we do and how the verification works as well. So just getting into like all the zero knowledge stuff has been it's been really fun, but it's also been very challenging. And then also like I don't know how technical your audience is, but like we started like with one CK proving systems, but then like after like writing a proper implementation that was like ready to ship, we kind of figured out that this zero knowledge proving system is not optimal for our use case. We needed like a little bit faster, so we had to like port over to another zero knowledge system like in the middle of development. That was very hard. And So actually, in Kusama Shield, there's actually two different zero knowledge systems, depending on what network you choose. We actually ended up, which was also really fun, because we support 4 different networks. When we started, we thought we were only going to support one network, but it's been a lot, like implementing zero knowledge, like going through it, like talking with. Luckily, we have people that I talk with almost daily that help out with the zero knowledge part, because it's like a lot of really advanced cryptography around it. Luckily, we're able to get. It's been a lot. It's been like, it feels like climbing a mountain, because like we didn't just copy like anyone else smart contract because of various reasons. Like I think people told us like a million times, like just copy Tornado Cash. But then after like reading Tornado Cash, it's like that hasn't been maintained in 4.5 years, and it's like it's so out of date because of this of how fast like cryptography moves, which is also insane. Like zero knowledge, like this has been researched since the 1980s. It's only in the last 4 years that we actually have had usable tools. So like 30 years of research and nothing happening, and then like poof, and then everything was happening at the same time. So it's been a journey. It's been quite a journey, but I think now the end result is that we built a really cool product in a really short amount of time. Like it's 3.5, 4 months now of development from start to finish, and I think what we built is actually usable, and it's going to be pretty good once we push this update.
Yeah, I would imagine that there's probably not a huge pool of developers in the privacy field. It's probably like other areas of crypto. Everybody probably piggybacks off of each other's work and develop things quicker and using open source. But there's probably not the huge amount of developers like there is in other parts of the crypto ecosystems. But I mean, with that being said, I'm seeing a lot of the layer ones gravitate towards privacy, quantum resistance now. Has any of that changed since the announcement of Midnight or the Ethereum sister chain or whatever it is, and all the different privacy chains that are coming up? Has the developer interest picked up?
Yeah, I think like there's a few. I think there is a handful of projects that have like succeeded in trying to pick up developers and making them like more privacy aware and actually like publishing useful stuff. And that's been in my book. That's been mostly PSE, Privacy Scaling Exploration, from Ethereum Foundation. Aztec as well. They're a giant zero knowledge firm. And the Circom as well. They've done a lot of cool stuff. But what we have, I don't know if you saw have you looked into Penumbra and what the Cosmos ecosystem are doing about privacy?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
It's like Cosmos ecosystem. They have like similar to Polkadot. They have all these like layer 2s, but it's like architected a bit differently. But you have all this like L2s, and they can talk to each other. And there is like one chain called Penumbra, which is basically a privacy focused L2 chain, you can say. And basically they've been in development for I think 4 years, raised 5.5 million, and now they're stopping development.
Oh, really?
Because of regulatory pressure.
Wow. There was I had Secret on the show, and I believe they're also on Cosmos. They're using DEs for privacy, the trusted network. You froze up a little bit. Are you there? Oh, there you go. Now I see you.
Yeah, I think we're back now. Yeah, it froze.
Yeah, I was saying
Sorry, what was your question?
Oh, Secret was on here, and I believe they were also on Cosmos, and they're working on privacy as well. But with that being said, does Kusama Shield have plans to go on to other protocols or take on crypto from other protocols, or is it just strictly for the Kusama ecosystem?
Yeah, definitely. So can you hear me? I think it's bad connection on my part.
I can hear you now. It might be mine. It's I see. It was like just like a still frame for a minute, and then it stopped. But yeah, I was just saying, does Kusama Shield have plans to integrate
Uh,
into other
is it
layer ones?
is it okay if I remove my video and I get a bit better latency then? Test.
Yeah, that works.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, that's so much better. Yeah. Yeah, you wanna pick up on Cosmos?
No, I was saying, with Kusama Shield, do you have plans to integrate into other protocols, or is it strictly going to be a Kusama ecosystem project?
So the idea is to, or has been, and is to kind of have this, see it like a protocol, like a plug and play solution. So if you want to have, if you say you have a small EVM chain or you have some kind of DAO community, you can just deploy like Kusama Shield on any EVM chain as your own privacy pool, and as interacting with other ecosystem. I think that's extremely important if we want to build a consumer product, because like at the end of the day we're building like a privacy protocol, but also the web interface needs to kind of be like a consumer product that like regular web3 users can use without any hassle. Like just like you use a swap site today, you can use Kusama Shield to both bridge from other L1s like Solana. So there's like 30 different L1s that we're able to support thanks to a swap provider that we integrated. So in like a week time, we will ship this new update, which basically or like target customers has been regular people that use crypto. For example, like I used to live in Serbia, and there is like so many Russian people that are using cryptocurrency like as their daily life to pay rent, to do various commerce with each other. I have like a friend of mine, he makes kombucha in his apartment, and then he sells that, and then he lives on that for crypto. So like I kind of like, the goal is to create like a mass market like privacy tool, and in order to get people to use it, it needs to be as simple as possible, and it needs to be as easy to use as possible. And I think like just talking with people that interact and use crypto as a medium of exchange, I think it's really important that we're able to support Trust Wallet and USDT, and we're able to support what people are actually using to sell services and pay each other. And I want Kusama Shield to be like a really usable product. And how do we do that? One, we provide a resilient protocol, which thanks to Kusama we are able to do, so no one can shut it down. And two, we make it really easy to use, and then also make it low transaction fees, because that's what I keep hearing from people when I do user surveys is, yeah, I like to use different chains, but the transaction fees are so high. So with Kusama, one of the unique selling points with Kusama Shields is that you're able to basically very, very cheaply, because we don't really take a lot of fees because it's funded by this autonomous treasury, which Polkadot and Kusama's governance system is. That's an entire episode of itself. But yeah, you're able to bridge within the main interface right over to Kusama and then shield it there for 0.8% fee, so less than 1%.
So, how resistant is Kusama Shield to on-chain analytics? I would assume that it has to do with the amount of transactions that are happening, the volume of entries and exits on Kusama Shield, or is it resistant against on-chain analytics just normally?
Well, it's hard to say exactly like how exactly resilient it is, because we don't have like we can't just call chain analysis and ask for a demo of their product. But I think in order to benchmark how private it is, we can use the K anonymity benchmark. It's basically how many people are depositing and withdrawing in the same time frame, and then use that as a kind of like a threat model to benchmark how private it is. And that's kind of how people benchmark Monero as well. Depending on, like in Monero, you send when you send the transaction with the Monero wallet, you have like 16 decoy transactions, so you would get a privacy score of 16. But if there's 100 people using Kusama Shield at the same time, then your transaction will be mixed with 100 people. So it's all dependent how private it is. It's all dependent on how many users are using it. So we need to like make it attractable for users, because the more users, the better it is. And then it's also really good if people store their coins in a shielded version for longer periods of time. Did I
Do
answer
you
your
see?
question?
Yes, yes. Do you see quantum computing as a huge threat? And is there a way to migrate to different encryption if it is a threat?
That's a great question. And it kind of like it ties back to the zero knowledge part right now. And basically what all like consumer grade applications that use zero knowledge use right now is a encryption algorithm called Groff16, which is basically how they create private proofs and how they verify private proof. And the problem is like, yeah, we would love to use quantum secure zero knowledge and cryptography, but doing that using quantum secure zero knowledge systems is right now still research in the terms of. So now we kind of have like this, we hope it's gonna be okay for like 40 years or 50 years. And basically that affects not only Kusama Shield, but it affects all kind of zero knowledge systems out there, like CK email as well. And that's because this zero knowledge system that is so well integrated everywhere in Ethereum land is not quantum secure. But getting it to quantum secure is like, you always have this like fine balance of like, you're very limited on like the amount of execution time you can do on chain, and also how long your transactions can take, versus yeah, you need to kind of adapt after that. And then also like working with like Ethereum based chains, like your proofs can only be so big, so you're kind of limited based on your surroundings a bit. And so we're not 100% quantum secure, but so is that's not any Groff16 based zero knowledge system basically, which kind of, yeah, it's kind of terrible. But it's also like the supply and demand side there for zero knowledge stuff, which yeah, we have to adapt based on where we're playing.
Do you see the privacy technology improving or deteriorating over the past 10 years? Do you think there's a trend of increased privacy, or is it more normal for less privacy? What are your thoughts about that?
That's a great question. How the landscape has changed. I think looking back 10 years, like if you want to get private online, you have like 10 years ago, you have to use VPN, or you have to use basically proxies. Now, like I've been like going on about mixnets and Tor mixnets and stuff like that forever, which we see an increase in both what XX network is doing, but also NIM VPN what they're doing. And I think like the now it feels like we're in a point of time where we have never been before, because 10 years ago it extremely hard to get any type of funding for anything that's privacy related. That narrative is massively changing right now, and there's funding for people that if you're like a person, you have a cool project that's privacy related, you can get funding for it, either through like the Kusama DAO or through grants or something. But just the way like cryptography has changed, and also like how zero knowledge has changed. And 10 years ago we didn't have zero knowledge applications, and then suddenly like, wow, I can choose what I want to reveal to other people with zero knowledge and with this like amazing cryptography. That I think the tools we have now are very, very powerful, and we have never had tools like this before. um, so I am very happy actually what how it's turning out. I mean, there's bigger threats than before, especially like before the governments were doing like a DPI, deep packet inspection, when they were monitoring all the consumers and the citizens' traffic. Now when Amazon is selling out, they're doing this with AI like much faster. So like the mass like cryptography is moving fast, but also the opponent is also moving very fast. So it's gonna be really interesting now to see where we're heading towards. And especially now when there's such a bloom in cryptography research and in decentralized applications. Like I am really, really excited about the future, and I'm really bullish as well, especially on all the new zero knowledge tools. And I hope that in 10 years time or in 5 years time, I hope we can be able to provide mass market privacy tools that are like private by default, with the protocol, so no one can tampers with it. But on a looking back 10 years, I'm really excited about where we're going. And sometimes it looks really dark, especially with, you know, EFF has been fighting this law and that law forever. But yeah, I would say there is now the momentum is kind of privacy is cool. It's not like privacy is not gonna just get done in the back room, you know, with in a dark alley somewhere with no one knows anything. But now it's more openness, and I see more like protocols collaborate with each other, and researchers collaborating with each other. I'm really optimistic for the future of privacy as well. But you know, it's not gonna make itself. So we should all build cool privacy centric applications.
That's a great answer. And yeah, it's pretty scary what AI is capable of, and it's just large language models at this point. It's not even like advanced AI. So yeah, it's definitely getting Orwellian. Is there anything that we missed that you would like to address or speak about?
Not on the top of my mind. All I kind of want to say is, yeah, we're building this cool protocol, Kusama Shield. It's completely open source. If you want to contribute to it, you're more than welcome. You can visit shield.markets and you find all the links. And also, it's really exciting times being in Web3 right now with the launch of Zero Knowledge. And if you're looking to do some cool type of project, you should definitely check out like the Kusama Treasury, because now there's a giant capital injection coming in, which hopefully will fuel a lot of protocols that can't bend the knee by default, so to say. I think that's it. If you want me to go deeper into anything, just let me know.
Where can we find you? Are you on X or any of the social medias?
I'm not really into any social media, but you can follow Kusama Shield on X, and all updates on the project will be there.
Okay, thank you, Philip. I appreciate you coming on and educating us about Kusama Shield.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. It's been a real pleasure, and I think it's great that this podcast is promoting privacy. It's really important, except especially in these days. And yeah, for all listeners, if you want to build some cool privacy stuff, check out Kusama and check out Kusama Shield. Give us feedback.
Thank you. Have a good one.